Eddie's brothers. It's halftime, man. It's at the end of the 6-month period, and it's only fitting that if any point in the year you're going to take 5 minutes to observe and recalibrate, is right now. You know what I'm saying? Half the year is gone, man, and I think every man should ask himself this every year at this point in time. A man should ask himself, like, what's working up to this point and what's not. You know, like we're always saying, man, if you're not measuring, you're not moving. What have you been measuring? What have you been monitoring in your life? If you're being honest with yourself, that if you look at the way you're doing things, if you're observing your rituals and your routines, if you're observing the way you're sticking to certain things, you're locked into your calendar. Like, what processes do you have in place that are working for you, and which ones aren't? You know, like we always talk about quantum leap, but just moving forward, period. If we're going to be men that are moving forward, we have to have these periods of just sitting down for 5 minutes and assessing what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Because if a man is not assessing what's going on, he's not moving. When we talk about those times in our lives, man, when we woke up and it was 6 months later, it was 6 years later, it was 15 years later, and nothing had changed. You know, we've been grinding for all this time, but nothing was moving. It's because a man is doing all these activities, but he's not doing anything productive. You know what I'm saying? Being busy is not moving the needle all the time, man. So what part of your life isn't working for you right now? This is big boy conversation. And I say it's big boy conversation, not amongst not amongst one another, but with ourselves. I'm gonna say it again. I'm not saying it's big boy conversation to be having with your brothers. If you got brothers like that, then that's good. And if not, get in the power circle, man. Yesterday we had a good chop session about this, man. But it's about being able to have this conversation with yourself. If you want to move forward, you have to be able to have these honest conversations with yourself. You have to be able to look at your life and say, what am I doing right? What am I doing wrong? And be honest with the answers that come out. You know what I'm saying? Another question you got to ask yourself. This is a major question, bro. What kind of return am I getting from the things I'm investing in? This is the big one. What kind of return am I getting from the things that I'm investing in? You know, and once a man asks himself that question a number of times, over time, and it might be over the course of years, over time, he's going to be very, very particular about what he invests in. But you got to ask yourself, what kind of return am I getting? Like I'm going to the same type of events and I'm rubbing elbows with the same type people that are occupying all of this time, all of these weekends, all of these moments after work. What kind of return am I getting from being associated with this person or these people or these groups or these associations? What kind of return am I getting from that? Like, is it benefiting me? Am I getting any kind of knowledge? Am I getting any kind of insight on some kind of industry? Like, is something coming from that? You have to ask yourself what kind of return you're getting on the things you're investing in, bro. The partners you hang with, the women you're in relationships with. What kind of? Okay, let's pause on this for a second. You're in a relationship with a woman. How is my life better because of that? You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by that, is this woman assisting me in my mission going forward? Is this woman assisting me in me staying in flow state? You know what I'm saying? Is this woman assisting me in keeping my mind clear? Is this woman assisting me in keeping my body healthy so I can be moving forward? What's the return on that investment? You have to ask yourself, all areas of life. You're going to church every Sunday. What kind of return on investment are you getting from that? So I'm going to tell you this, man. You know, make sure that everything you're putting your energy in, Make sure, I'm gonna say it again, bro, because I really mean it. Make sure that everything you're investing your energy and time in is giving you something back. That doesn't mean that we aren't supposed to be doing things that are relaxing or not associated with work. But I'm gonna tell you, man, there should be very few things that you sit down, even if you're sitting down watching a movie. If I'm sitting down watching a movie and it's strictly for entertainment purposes only, when I get up and walk away from that movie, or when I cut my television off, I want to be inspired in some kind of way. I want to be inspired to, I want to go get a bigger bag. I want to be inspired to, I want to be a different level of man because of this character I saw in the movie. I want to be inspired because of something. This relationship played out a certain way. I want to take some nugget from that to make me better. I don't want to just laugh. You know what I'm saying? I want to be inspired somehow, man. So all I'm saying is, man, and maybe this is something that comes with age. Matter of fact, I'm sure an element of what I'm saying comes with age, but I would say most of it comes with experience. Because you can be a very young man, you can be a 25-year-old man that has gone through enough things, have gone through enough having some bad friendships with partners, or had some bad friendships with relationships with women, or had some bad work experiences at a young age to understand what I'm saying. Stop investing your time and energy in things that don't have a good return, man. You're not getting ready to sit there and dump money in a stock that's nose diving. So why would you invest in things in this world that are going in the same direction? It's simple, man. It's simple. And my last question is this. After you observe what your 2026 is doing, here at the halftime, right? After you observe what kind of return you're getting back from every person, place, or thing, the next question is, what are you going to do about it? That's the main question. Because observing it is doing nothing if you aren't going to make any changes. What are you going to do about it? Yeah, you might complain about it for 5 minutes, but anything more than 5 minutes is really a waste of time. You might sit there and say, oh, man, I thought these were my partners, man. They end up doing me dirty. Or, oh, man, I was in this relationship, man. We've been together for 15,000 years, and she up and did this. Or, hey, man, I've been at this job for 20 years, and I thought I was going to retire wearing this uniform, and they laid me off at this certain age. Like, dang, man, you can whine and cry about that for 5 minutes. But anything more than that is like, now you got to strap back up, man, and get back to work. What are you going to do about it is the main thing. And I'm saying that because you got to understand this, man. If you aren't making some bad decisions in life, or if you aren't making some valuable decisions in life, you really aren't living hard enough. If you aren't making some mistakes in life, you really aren't living hard enough. If you aren't building some projects and you got to go back to the drawing board and do it again and figure it out if you aren't moving, like if you aren't getting those type results, man, then you aren't living hard enough. And to be honest, if you aren't living hard enough, if you aren't seeing those things around you where you have to reassess relationships and all that kind of stuff, then you probably this conversation probably even isn't for you. Because what your life is doing between January 1st and here at halftime is probably the same thing your life has been doing for the last 15 years, 10 years, 7 or 8 years. So to be honest, you probably don't need these halftime sessions, these quarterly sit downs where you assess and observe. Because what you're getting, you're cool with it. You would much rather get that result year after year and go to the water cooler and talk noise about it, about the government and about the like that's your solution. That's your solution. But for y'all other brothers, man, that are trying to move the needle, for y'all other brothers, man, that are trying to break generational curses in your bloodline, that are trying to put your kids and your kids in better situations, man. You got to be obsessed. You got to be observing assessing, and moving different from that intel. So what are you going to do about it, man? What are you going to do about the situations that you're looking at that are unfavorable? At the end of the day, that's the conversation. Those are the most important conversations we need to have. What are we going to do about it? Because all of us can sit there and identify some of our shortcomings. All of us can sit here and identify issues in the world. All of us can. It's like, what are we going to do about it, man? And I'm gonna tell you this, man. It's like if men, it's like this. The men that aren't even willing to have those type conversations, man, it's very challenging for me to even have sit downs with men like this. I won't even say challenging. At this point, it's impossible. It's impossible at this point. Like, I don't even want to do it. I don't even want to hear their perspective, because their perspective is all about why we can't do something, or why we shouldn't because it might offend somebody else, or why the government, it's excuses, man. So all I'm saying is you need to get you a game plan, man. Get you a game plan. And when I say get you a game plan, put that end result down on paper. I dare you to write it on paper. I dare you to bring it from the spiritual world, your mental world, to the physical. I dare you to write down what that December 31st version of you will look like. You know what I'm saying? And then I dare you to make a plan to get there. Your recipe. I dare you to write your own prescription of how to get there. You know what I'm saying? And then I dare you to execute it. I'm going to give you a hint real quick, man. And I don't know if I've ever said this on YouTube. I don't know, but I'm going to say it now. I'm going to tell you the hack, or a hack to writing your own recipe. There's a hack. There's a hack to writing your own recipe, a hack to writing your own prescription to get to your next level, right? In other words, let me make sure I say this right and don't leave anything out. If you're sitting here and you say, hey, you know what? Okay, it's July 1st or June 28th, whatever day you watch this video. If you say, okay, this is halftime portion of the year, and I'm sitting here and I'm assessing myself. I see what all I did right. I see what I did wrong. Okay, I need to make some changes. Boom, boom, boom. This is where I'm going to be this December the 31st. What you need to do is when you write down this plan to get to that point, you need to write that plan down outside of yourself. And when I say outside of yourself, this is what I mean. When you construct your own plan to level up, if you're writing it from your own mindset, you can't write a prescription outside of the level of your identity. It's a challenge to write your own game plan to move forward from yourself. So when I say to write it from outside of yourself, this is what I mean. When you identify the avatar you're going to be, you have to write that game plan down as if someone else is asking you how to get there. As if someone else is asking you how to get there. Why is this so? Because you got to understand, when it comes to us applying pressure and applying the level up knowledge to ourselves, we're limited with ourselves and our ego. But when someone else asks us how to get somewhere else, we automatically default to universal mind. We automatically default to a place that has no limits and no caps. Think about what I'm saying. If a friend comes to you and says, "Hey Joe Blow, how can I lose 20 pounds in the next 30 days?" automatically, man, you're going to say, well, first off, let me say this. If you ask yourself that question, how can I lose 20 pounds in 30 days? You're going to say, okay, well, first off, my job has me doing this. If I want to buy healthy food, it's going to cost this much money. And I don't got that kind of money. I don't got that kind of time. I don't got that kind of... You're going to think of all the reasons first of why you can't build that person. Because it's you. But if Joe Blow comes to you and says, hey, man, how can I lose those 30 pounds, 20 pounds in 30 days? Instantly, all limitations, all barriers, all hurdles are gone. You're going straight to universal mind where all knowledge is. And you're going to be able to say, hey, you know what? This is how you move. This is how you can guarantee that at the end of the year, you'll be right here. Universal mind. So when we write our own recipes, when we write our prescriptions for ourselves, we got to write it from universal mind. So you have to pretend as if someone else is asking you, how do I get here? And write that plan down and execute that plan. You know what I'm saying? All I'm saying, brothers, is halftime. And if you look at the first half of your year, man, and you say, hey, you know what? I did good in these areas, but I got some areas where I got to tighten up. It's time to fix it, bro. It's time to recalibrate. It's time to readjust. It's time to get rid of things that no longer serve us. It's time to get rid of people, places, and things that have no return on the investment of time you're putting in them. And it's time to move forward.